My fiancé said I was spiritually draining her while I funded her dreams, and she secretly dated other men until her perfect plan fell apart one night. I'm 29, male, a data analyst in Phoenix making $78,000. Not rich, but comfortable. I own a 2-bedroom condo in Ahwatukee, bought 3 years ago when the market dipped and desperate sellers were practically throwing keys at buyers. Mortgage runs $1,800 monthly, plus another $350 for HOA and utilities. Been with Caroline, 27, female for 4 years, engaged almost a year. She worked dental reception, pulling maybe $32,000 until getting laid off 8 months ago. Been doing occasional temp work since then. Caroline moved in 2 years back, but never got added to the mortgage. She was between jobs at the time, credit score hovering around 580, so I handled everything solo. Made sense then, less sense when she started acting like she owned the place while contributing maybe $300 from temp work when she had it. I cover mortgage, insurance, property taxes, groceries, internet, streaming services, her car insurance. Basically, everything that prevents us from living in a cardboard box under the I-10 overpass. Weddings planned for October at some overpriced venue in Scottsdale already dropped $2,200 on the location, $1,500 on photography, another $800 on catering deposits. Caroline handles planning, which mostly involves Pinterest boards and complaining about my lack of vision. Meanwhile, I work 50-hour weeks funding this circus. The venue coordinator keeps calling about additional fees, upgraded linens, premium bar package, extra ceremony decorations. Each conversation cost me another $500 I didn't budget for. Enter Brianna, Caroline's college roommate who slithered back into our lives 6 months ago like a bad rash. Classic peaked-in-college type who still talks about sorority drama from 2017. Now 29, 3 failed businesses that were really just MLM schemes, 2 divorces before age 30, lives in a studio apartment near ASU, but talks like she's running Amazon from her fold-out kitchen table. Through Brianna, Caroline discovered Elevate Phoenix, started innocent enough, coffee meetups at trendy Scottsdale spots where women discuss their potential, evolved into full cult territory where they analyze everyone's relationships and decide who's holding back their authentic growth. The cult leader is Victoria, 38-year-old life coach charging $2,000 for breakthrough intensives. Never been married, drives a leased white Mercedes that probably costs more than my mortgage, posts LinkedIn inspiration porn daily about calling in abundance and releasing limited beliefs. Her apartment's in one of those luxury complexes with granite countertops and zero personality, all beige and white with motivational quotes on canvas. Place screams I lease furniture and pretend it's an investment. 2 months in, Caroline became completely insufferable, blew $2,800 of our wedding fund on beige investment pieces from some boutique charging triple for linen with a mission statement. Got a $400 haircut making her look like a corporate shark ready to downsize your department. Started speaking fluent bullshit about vibrational frequency and scarcity consciousness. Used to be sweet. She'd cook dinner most nights, binge Netflix with me on weekends, get excited over dumb stuff like new reality show episodes or Target deals. The kind of girl who lit up for Taco Tuesday, baked a Baby Yoda cake just for fun, and made hoodie stealing part of her weekend routine. Chill, fun, real. Then came the transformation. Now everything became intentional living and optimizing energy. Our apartment turned into some wellness monastery where fun went to die. Pizza nights became beneath her consciousness level. I don't consume low-vibration food anymore, Zach. You should really examine why you're addicted to processed garbage that's literally poisoning your chakras. My gaming sessions were pathetic entertainment addiction that keeps you trapped in mediocrity instead of actualizing your highest potential. Sunday football turned into lectures about primitive tribal behaviors and how evolved people don't need sports to feel connected. Even basic conversation became exhausting. Ask about her day, get a sermon about energy management, mention work stress, get advised to shift my mindset around abundance blocks. Then came the ultimatum disguised as spiritual growth. I require Wednesdays and Saturdays completely uninterrupted for my expansion work. This is non-negotiable. You can find something else to do during my sacred time, not a request. A demand from someone contributing maybe 15% to household expenses. She'd leave 6 p.m. sharp those nights dressed like she was interviewing for executive positions. Claimed she was attending manifestation circles and sisterhood gatherings. Sure. And I'm manifesting a girlfriend who pays half the bills and doesn't lecture me about my toxic masculinity for wanting to watch sports. The territorial takeover escalated faster than Russian troops in Ukraine. Caroline commandeered our living room for group meetings Tuesday, Thursday, sometimes Sunday afternoons. 5 to 8 women gathering in my space while Victoria ran discount Tony Robbins sessions about releasing patriarchal programming. They'd rearrange my furniture without asking, move my coffee table against the wall, use my dining area as headquarters for their vision boards and goal-setting worksheets, raid my kitchen like entitled locusts, drinking my coffee and eating snacks they never replaced. "This energy feels so much better now," one of them said, admiring how they'd moved my recliner. My recliner, the one I researched for 3 weeks and saved up to buy, now positioned to face their makeshift altar of crystals and motivational books. "Excuse me, but I live here too." Caroline looked at me like I'd interrupted a funeral. "We're doing important transformational work here, Zach. Maybe you could give us some space to help these women change their lives in my own house that I pay for entirely. Our house. And honestly, your masculine energy is really disruptive to the healing space we've created." Several women nodded like I was some caveman who'd wandered into their enlightened gathering. But crossing my gaming setup was a declaration of war. Came home one Thursday to find my corner converted into her meditation and manifestation space. My PS5, Xbox, and 32-inch monitor shoved in the bedroom closet because electronics created disruptive energy fields that block abundance. 6 months of saving for that setup. Custom gaming chair, adjustable desk, proper cable management, RGB lighting. I'd spent hours configuring my sanctuary after dealing with spreadsheets and conference calls all day. Found my $800 gaming chair in the dumpster the next week. Apparently donated to the universe for higher vibrations. "Where's my chair, Carolyn?" "I released it back to the universe. You should be grateful I'm helping you detach from material possessions that keep you trapped in lower consciousness." "You threw away my stuff without asking." "I don't need permission to cleanse our space of toxic energy. That chair was literally blocking your spiritual growth. That's when 4 years of walking on eggshells officially ended. That was my chair in my house that I pay for entirely." She rolled her eyes like I was having a toddler tantrum. "This aggressive masculine energy is really triggering right now. You're literally vibrating at such a low frequency it's affecting my ability to manifest." "Low frequency? I'm about to show you some real low frequencies." Hauled my gaming equipment out of bedroom exile that same night. Set everything up on the kitchen counter since Princess claimed my original corner. She huffed and puffed about aggressive retaliation energy, but I ignored her completely. Meanwhile, Victoria was monetizing my dining room like it was her personal conference center. Came home early one Friday to find her charging 3 women $300 each for private breakthrough intensives, while Caroline played unpaid assistant, handling payment processing and scheduling. Victoria barely acknowledged my existence. Just kept coaching these women about leveraging feminine energy and upgrading relationship situations to match their elevated consciousness. Translation: how to monkey branch from current partners while maintaining financial security during the transition. Caroline nodding along enthusiastically with every toxic suggestion like she was taking notes for her master's thesis in relationship sabotage. "Maybe you could use the bedroom while we finish our transformational session," Caroline suggested when I grabbed lunch from my own refrigerator. "Maybe you could use literally anywhere else that isn't my house," I replied. Victoria's perfectly sculpted eyebrows shot up like I'd committed some social crime. Caroline looked mortified by my audacity. Good. My internet became completely unusable. Caroline streaming 8-hour empowerment sessions daily, burning through our data cap by week 2 every month. When I mentioned upgrading our plan, she got nasty fast. "Maybe if you weren't so controlling about shared resources, you'd understand that my entrepreneurial development is more important than your little video games." I was paying $180 monthly so she could broadcast life advice to strangers while contributing nothing to household expenses. Her phone behavior went from casual to Fort Knox security overnight. Started taking mysterious bathroom calls lasting 30 to 40 minutes, claiming Victoria needed emergency private consultations about breakthrough opportunities. Used to leave her phone anywhere. Didn't care if I saw her messages. Now it was face down constantly, password protected, taken to the bathroom for every call. Late one Tuesday night, heard her in there using a voice she hadn't used with me in months. Sweet, flirty, engaged, actually interested in the conversation. Asked who she was talking to when she emerged. "Rachel from the group. Planning our vision boarding session tomorrow." "God, you're so suspicious lately. It's really unattractive energy." Rachel sounded surprisingly masculine for a 26-year-old lifestyle coach who supposedly specialized in feminine empowerment. Started paying closer attention to our joint checking account. What I discovered made my stomach drop. Caroline had systematically blown nearly $3,000 on empowerment garbage over 3 months, $800 for Victoria's breakthrough transformation courses, $1,200 for private mentoring sessions. Another $600 for mysterious high-level networking events that somehow required new outfits every time. Our entire wedding fund torched for someone else's business model. The itemized statements read like a scammer's dream. Elevate Phoenix Workshop, $300. VIP Sisterhood Experience, $450. Manifestation Mastermind, $200. Confronted her about unauthorized spending from our joint account. "That's not spending. That's investing in our future empire. When my transformation business launches next year, you'll be begging to quit your boring job and be part of something meaningful. What business? You attend meetings and post inspirational quotes on Instagram. You wouldn't understand because your employee mindset can't grasp entrepreneurial vision. Some people are meant to build legacies while others just clock in and clock out. Meanwhile, she stopped contributing her usual $300 monthly rent assistance. I need to preserve my financial resources for strategic opportunities. You make enough to handle the basic household stuff. The basics like mortgage, insurance, property taxes, utilities, groceries, her car insurance, everything that prevents civilized human existence. So I was funding her lifestyle transformation and her fantasy empire while she treated me like hired help who should be grateful for the privilege. Started noticing she'd come home from Wednesday and Saturday sessions practically glowing, immediately rushing to shower like she needed to wash off evidence. She'd, while getting ready for these events, put more effort into her appearance than she had for our own dates in months. New lingerie appearing in the laundry, expensive stuff I definitely didn't buy. Still had tags when I spotted it drying on the bathroom door. Another manifestation circle tonight? I asked one Wednesday evening as she applied makeup like she was going to prom. It's called personal development, Zach. Maybe you should try investing in yourself instead of judging what you don't understand. For spiritual growth, she sure was dressing like she had dinner reservations at the Four Seasons. Phone behavior became absolutely paranoid. Started taking every call outside, claiming Victoria needed emergency breakthrough consultations at all hours. One night around 11 p.m., heard her in the bathroom again, talking in that sweet voice. I know. Right? It's so refreshing connecting with someone who actually gets it and supports my growth. Wednesday works perfectly for me. I honestly can't wait to see you again. Asked who she was talking to when she emerged. Rachel, planning our group vision boarding session for tomorrow. Seriously, your insecurity is getting really pathetic. Rachel's voice was definitely deeper than mine, which seemed unusual for a female lifestyle coach specializing in feminine energy work. Started second-guessing myself around this time. Maybe I really was the problem, holding her back. Maybe my limited consciousness and scarcity mindset were preventing her from reaching her full potential. Maybe she genuinely was evolving into something better while I stayed stuck in my toxic masculine patterns. Tried supporting her transformation journey for 2 weeks. Asked interested questions about her sessions. Encouraged her goals. Even suggested couples counseling to work on my apparent emotional limitations. Finally, she said with relief, I've been waiting months for you to acknowledge your problems and commit to growth. That's when the universe handed me perfect clarity wrapped in a notification sound. Using the bathroom one evening when her phone lit up on the counter with a series of notifications. New match on Bumble. Tyler sent you a message. Hey, gorgeous. Free tomorrow night? Your daily matches are ready to browse. My engaged fiancé, actively shopping for replacements while wearing the $3,800 engagement ring that cost me 3 months of overtime. Dating other men in the same apartment I paid for. Wearing clothes I bought. Eating food I provided. 4 years together. Wedding I was killing myself financially to fund. Future I've been planning and saving for. She was monkey branching while calling me insecure and pathetic. Her active conversations were right there on the screen. Multiple guys messaging her, looking for something real with someone who appreciates growth and ambition. Profile photos taken in our bedroom, wearing outfits I'd paid for. Messages going back weeks, dinner plans, coffee dates, late-night conversations about how her current relationship was holding her back from her true potential. One of the guys she messaged, Tyler. I didn't know him, but turns out he used to work 2 cubicles over from my buddy, Chris. Casual chat over lunch, Chris mentioned seeing Caroline's profile. Your fiancé is on Bumble, right? He asked, already looking uncomfortable. Apparently, Tyler matched with her a few weeks ago. Said she told him she was technically living with someone, but it was basically over and she was in a transition phase. Tyler didn't pursue it, said something felt off. This wasn't just flirtation or ego boosts. She had exit strategies lined up. She was planning her replacement while still eating the groceries I paid for. One particularly charming exchange. My fiancé is so threatened by my success that he can't even support basic personal development. I'm ready for a real man who celebrates strong women instead of trying to control them. Another winner. Wednesday and Saturday nights are perfect for me. He thinks I'm at spiritual meetings, lol. Decision crystallized instantly. Time for the nuclear option. Called my brother Danny next morning from my car during lunch break. 34, runs his own electrical contracting business. Zero tolerance for relationship nonsense after his own divorce 3 years back. She's cheating. Multiple dating apps. Meeting guys during her sacred transformation time. Fuck. How'd you find out? Saw our phone notifications, active conversations, meetup plans, the whole thing. Damn, Zach. What's the play here? Scorched earth. I'm completely done subsidizing someone who has zero respect for me. Good. What do you need from me? Legal backup when I end this and moral support for the aftermath. She's going to lose her mind. About damn time, bro. When are you pulling the trigger? This week. Strike fast. Strike hard. Don't give her time to prepare a defense. Smart. You want me there when it goes down? Probably a good idea. She might try to make it ugly. First real call. My lawyer, Steve, who'd handled my condo purchase and business contracts. She's not on the mortgage release? Nope. My name only on everything. She's been paying maybe $300 a month when she feels like it. Clean 30-day notice then. Legally, she's just a house guest who's overstayed her welcome. Started systematic damage control immediately. Wedding vendors, joint accounts, shared subscriptions, documentation for everything. Some vendors kept deposits, but cutting losses beat paying divorce lawyers later. The venue coordinator was surprisingly understanding. Happens more than you'd think. We'll credit what we can toward cancellation fees. Caroline had zero clue what was brewing. Too wrapped up in her transformation journey to notice me working from home more often, making strategic phone calls, organizing financial paperwork, consulting with legal and financial advisors. Wednesday, she performed her usual pre-date ritual, 2 hours getting ready for her manifestation workshop with Victoria's group. Full makeup, tight dress, expensive perfume for spiritual consciousness expansion, another advanced manifestation session tonight. We're doing partnership visualization work, really high-level material that you probably wouldn't understand yet. The condescending tone was perfect motivation for what was coming. Left at 6:30 sharp, humming some pop song and checking her phone constantly for messages from her divine partnerships. Thursday, I executed phase 1 at the bank, removed Caroline's access from our joint account, transferred remaining funds to my personal checking, felt damn satisfying watching her name disappear from my financial accounts, closed our joint credit card too. She'd run up $1,200 in charges over the past month, mostly at restaurants and clothing stores during her transformation journey. Friday, everything was locked and loaded. Legal eviction notice prepared, wedding vendors contacted, financial accounts secured, documentation organized. Saturday was her next sacred transformation night, perfect timing for the main event. Danny came over Friday evening for moral support and witness protection. You absolutely sure about going nuclear like this? She made her choice months ago when she started treating me like garbage while I funded her fantasy life. Time for adult consequences. Good for you, man. She's been walking all over you for way too long. Time to remind everyone whose house this actually is. Saturday evening, Caroline performed her weekend ritual. Extended shower, careful hairstyling, professional makeup, new dress I'd never seen before but somehow appeared in our closet. Another high-level manifestation circle with the sisterhood, she explained. They were doing divine partnership calling tonight. Victoria apparently said she was finally ready for the advanced curriculum after all her breakthrough work. The irony was absolutely beautiful. Calling in divine partnerships while wearing my engagement ring and clothes I'd purchased in preparation for meeting men she'd found on dating apps, she practically floated out the door at 6:30, radiating excitement for her spiritual development session. 11:20 p.m., key turned in the lock. Caroline walked in practically glowing with satisfaction, immediately checking her phone for messages from her evening's divine partnerships, hair slightly messed up, makeup touched up in a car mirror, that satisfied expression women get after a particularly good date. How was the manifestation session with Victoria's group? Incredible breakthrough tonight. I'm completely clear now about what I deserve in relationships and what energy has been holding me back from my highest good. Funny you should mention deserving things and breakthrough clarity. Handed her the manila envelope. Official legal letterhead, proper formatting, everything Steve recommended for maximum psychological impact. She scanned the contents, facial expression shifting from confused to concerned to full panic mode. Zach, what the hell is this supposed to be? 30-day eviction notice. You have exactly 1 month to find alternative living arrangements. This is completely insane. You can't just kick me out of our home. My name's on the mortgage. You contribute maybe 10% to actual expenses. Legally speaking, you're a house guest whose welcome officially expired, but we're engaged to be married in October. We're engaged, canceled the wedding yesterday morning. All vendors have been notified. Oh, and I'll need my grandmother's ring back immediately. She instinctively clutched her left hand protectively. Zach, please, we need to talk about this, the ring, right now. She slowly twisted it off her finger like she was removing part of her identity. $3,800 worth of diamond and platinum sitting in my palm like concentrated vindication. That's when the spiritual transformation mask fell off completely, revealing pure entitlement and rage underneath. You can't do this to me. I've invested 4 years of my life in this relationship, and I've invested about $60,000 in actual money. Time to cut losses and move forward separately. This is about the empowerment group, isn't it? You're threatened because I'm finally growing beyond your emotional limitations. Actually, it's about Tyler from Bumble and Jake from Hinge and whatever other divine partnerships you've been manifesting during your sacred Wednesday and Saturday transformation sessions. Her face drained of color like someone had pulled a plug. For the first time in months, Caroline was completely speechless. Her righteous indignation vanished, replaced by that deer-in-headlights look you only get when someone realizes they just blew their last life. I can explain that. No need. Her messages were pretty self-explanatory. Looking for a real man who appreciates strong women while wearing the ring I bought and planning your exit strategy. She tried to formulate some explanation, but we both knew there wasn't one that would matter. Monday morning brought the feminist cavalry. Multiple car doors slammed outside around 10 a.m. Victoria's white Mercedes, Brianna's beat-up Honda Civic. Another vehicle I didn't recognize. 4 women marched toward my front door like an intervention squad mobilizing for psychological warfare. They didn't bother knocking. Caroline used her key and led them into my living room like they owned the place, and were conducting an emergency board meeting. "We need to address this situation immediately," Victoria announced, settling into my leather recliner like she was chairing a corporate takeover meeting. "Get the hell out of my house. Caroline has established legal rights here. What you're doing constitutes housing discrimination and financial abuse. We're here to advocate for her protection." Danny, who'd been expecting this exact circus, emerged from the kitchen with a huge grin spreading across his face. "Oh, perfect. The empowerment squad showed up right on schedule. This should be absolutely entertaining." Brianna jumped in with full Karen energy mode activated. "You can't just discard her like garbage because she's outgrown your insecurities and emotional limitations." Danny started laughing. "Outgrown what, lady? She's been freeloading here for months while playing make-believe entrepreneur with stolen money." "This conversation is between us and Zach," Victoria said dismissively, trying to regain control. "Actually, it's between Zach and his non-rent-paying house guest. You 3 are just trespassing on private property. Time to deploy the nuclear option I'd been preparing all weekend." Pulled out the thick folder I'd been compiling since Thursday evening. Research, documentation, public records, financial statements, everything I could legally obtain. "Since we're discussing legal issues and rights, let's talk about your business practices," Victoria spread documents across my coffee table like a prosecutor presenting evidence to a jury. Victoria Chen, also known as Victorian Nguyen, when it's more convenient for business purposes, filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy 14 months ago after accumulating over $80,000 in business debts. Victoria's confident expression started cracking like thin ice under pressure. 3 outstanding judgments for unpaid business loans and vendor bills totaling $23,000 currently being garnished at your day job. "Yes, the medical billing company downtown where you process insurance claims 40 hours a week." Danny whistled appreciatively. "Day job? Thought she was a successful entrepreneur." "Then there's Elevate Phoenix LLC, unregistered business entity operating without proper licensing, reported to the FTC for pyramid scheme activities by 7 different women over the past 18 months. The room went completely silent except for papers rustling. Bank records showing Victoria collected over $52,000 from local women for transformation programs she never fully delivered. 2 active fraud investigations in Tucson, cease and desist order from her former business partner in Nevada. Even ran it all by my buddy Ryan, a compliance officer at a finance firm. He skimmed through and said, "Bro, this is a textbook scam. If she's not indicted this year, I'll eat my badge." Caroline looked like she might vomit on my carpet. "Caroline, your $2,000 investment went straight to Victoria's Mercedes lease payment and rent. It's all documented right here in her bankruptcy filing under business expenses, but here's my personal favorite discovery. Brianna, thank you for being such a loyal, supportive friend to Caroline during her transformation journey." Brianna's face went nuclear red, sensing incoming artillery, especially when you were using Caroline's dating profile set up your own hookups with her matches. Danny burst out laughing. "Holy shit, Zach? Her own friend was stealing her dates?" "That's right. My co-worker, Tyler, showed me the screenshots last week. You've been catfishing as Caroline, using her photos to arrange group meetups and threesome situations with guys she matched with." Caroline spun around to stare at Brianna in absolute horror and betrayal. "Wait, there's more." Jasmine, love that social media strategist title on LinkedIn. Really impressive credentials for someone collecting unemployment benefits after getting fired for embezzling from their last employer. Jasmine started backing toward the door like she was planning an escape route. "Here's what actually happened, Caroline. Victoria runs a classic MLM recruitment scam, specifically targeting women going through life transitions. She systematically isolates them from existing support systems, fills their heads with grandiose fantasies about entrepreneurial success, then drains them financially while programming them to view stable partners as obstacles to growth. Look directly at Caroline with complete clarity. She coached you to see me as the enemy holding you back so you'd become more dependent on her guidance. She encouraged the dating app so you'd have exit strategies ready when I inevitably discovered what was happening. She was setting you up to leave this relationship while maximizing what you could extract financially first. The empowerment group immediately started imploding like a controlled demolition. Brianna and Caroline arguing loudly about the catfishing betrayal. Victoria edging toward the door. Jasmine frantically deleting social media apps from her phone. "Time's up, ladies," Danny announced cheerfully. "Exits right behind you." They scattered like roaches when fluorescent lights suddenly illuminate a dark kitchen. Caroline lingered at the threshold looking completely broken and lost. "Zach, I swear I didn't know about most of this manipulation stuff. You knew you were cheating on me every Wednesday and Saturday for months. You knew you were lying directly to my face while I paid for everything. You knew you were spending my money without permission on someone else's business. That knowledge was sufficient. But if I was being manipulated and taken advantage of, you were a grown adult who chose to treat me like garbage while I funded your entire lifestyle. Own your choices instead of playing victim." She tried to mount some defense, then realized she had absolutely nothing left to work with. Door closed with the most satisfying click I'd heard in months. Danny grinned like he just watched his favorite team win the Super Bowl. "Damn, bro, that was absolutely surgical precision. You just dismantled an entire criminal enterprise. Felt incredible. So what happens now?" "Now I enjoy the peace and quiet. 3 weeks after the great feminist exodus, my life transformed into everything it should have been all along." Victoria disappeared completely when her fraud investigation went federal. Turns out, multiple agencies across 3 states were building cases against her operation. She's looking at serious federal prison time for wire fraud, tax evasion, and operating an unlicensed investment scheme. Her Mercedes got repossessed apartment complex evicted her for non-payment. Last anyone heard, she was back living with her parents in California, facing multiple civil lawsuits from former clients demanding restitution. Brianna moved back in with her second ex-husband. Apparently, her standard cyclical pattern according to Danny's girlfriend who knows the neighborhood gossip. The ex-husband calls it the empowerment cycle. She joins some self-help group, destroys her current life situation, then comes crawling back when reality crashes down. But Caroline's spectacular downward spiral provided the real entertainment value. Started with increasingly desperate voicemails about being manipulated and needing help processing her trauma. Blocked her number after the 5th sob story about how she was the real victim. Then mutual friends started reporting Caroline sightings around town, extended stay motel near the airport, waiting tables at Denny's during graveyard shifts, asking everyone for small loans that became larger loans. Her parents cut her off financially after she tried to blame them for not teaching her better relationship skills. Apparently, decades of enabling their adult daughter reached a natural conclusion. Meanwhile, I was living like an absolute king in my own domain. Got my gaming setup back with serious upgrades, new ultra-wide curved monitor, premium mechanical keyboard, high-end gaming chair with proper lumbar support. Danny helped mount everything perfectly with professional cable management. Work promotion came through ahead of schedule. All those overtime hours while Caroline was finding herself got noticed by senior management. Senior analyst position, $12,000 annual raise, better benefits package, stock options. The financial windfall was absolutely incredible between canceled wedding deposits, Caroline's sudden absence from expenses, selling her engagement ring for $3,400, and eliminating unauthorized spending. Suddenly, I was $35,000 ahead financially. No more funding fantasy businesses. No more splitting costs with dead weight. No more surprise credit card charges. Started hanging with my old crew again. Guys, I'd been systematically neglecting while Caroline renovated my personality and social circle. Vegas trip planned for next month. Something she would have immediately vetoed as low-consciousness entertainment that doesn't serve your highest good. The apartment felt like my space again instead of some wellness retreat center. Furniture arranged for comfort instead of energy flow. Normal food in the refrigerator. Sports on TV without commentary about societal conditioning. Danny came over last weekend with fresh intelligence updates. Victoria's officially looking at federal charges now. Wire fraud, tax evasion, the whole package. Brianna's third divorce is getting nasty. Her husband found Caroline's dating profiles on her phone with evidence of the catfishing scheme. And what about Caroline herself? She's been systematically calling everyone we know, begging for money and a place to stay. Lost the motel room last week, officially living in her car now. Sounds like a personal problem she needs to solve independently. Gets even better. She showed up at Victoria's old apartment yesterday, screaming about getting her money back. Neighbors called the cops when she started banging on doors looking for forwarding addresses. Absolutely perfect justice. But the real cherry on top of this vindication, Sunday arrived Tuesday evening around 8 p.m. Doorbell rang insistently. Security camera showed Caroline looking like she'd been living rough for weeks. Hair unwashed and stringy. Clothes wrinkled and stained. Makeup smeared. General appearance of someone whose life had completely derailed. I let her ring it 5 more times before casually opening the door. "Zach, please. I desperately need to talk to you. There's nothing left to discuss. I know I screwed up everything. I know I was completely wrong about the group in Victoria and how I treated you. But I'm literally homeless now, Zach. I'm living in my car in Walmart parking lots. Sounds like a personal problem requiring personal solutions." She started crying real tears this time. "I spent every penny I had on that transformation program. Victoria took all my money and disappeared. Brianna screwed me over with the dating thing. My parents won't help anymore. I have absolutely nowhere to go. Should have considered those consequences before treating me like garbage for months. Please, just let me stay on the couch for a few days while I figure things out. I'll get back on my feet quickly. I promise I'll pay you back. I've got a better idea. There's a homeless shelter on 5th Street near downtown. They serve dinner at 6. Zach, please. I'll do absolutely anything. I've learned my lesson." "Anything? Here's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to walk away from my door right now and never come back. You're going to figure out your own problems like the strong independent woman you claimed to be during your transformation. But I love you. I made terrible mistakes, but I genuinely love you. You loved my paycheck. You loved my house providing you free housing. You never actually loved me as a person." She kept desperately begging, offering to completely change, promising to be different, swearing she'd learned valuable lessons about relationships. "Caroline, you had 4 solid years to appreciate what you had here. You consciously chose to throw it all away for some fantasy lifestyle inside relationships. These are simply the natural consequences of your adult decisions." Closed the door while she was still talking and making increasingly desperate promises. Watched through the security camera as she stood there for another 10 minutes, probably hoping I'd cave like I had during previous arguments. When I didn't respond or reappear, she finally walked away toward her car. Haven't seen or heard from her since that pathetic display. Heard through mutual friends that she eventually moved back in with her parents in Ohio. Working retail at Target now. Posting bitter social media rants about how emotionally unavailable men can't handle strong women who know their worth. Yeah, real strong. Living with mommy and daddy at 27 while folding clothes for $12 an hour. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in my clean, organized, peaceful condo with a career promotion, substantially improved finances, and complete clarity about what I want in future relationships. The best revenge isn't elaborate schemes or dramatic confrontations. It's simply refusing to subsidize people who fundamentally don't respect you, then thriving spectacularly while they face unfiltered reality. Caroline learned that lesson the hardest possible way. Sometimes you don't take out the trash. You just stop paying for it to stick around and make your life miserable.